Hello class, welcome to today's lecture. We will be discussing a series of important cardiovascular and respiratory disorders that you will commonly encounter in nursing practice. So our focus will be on pericarditis, endocarditis, myocarditis. These are the inflammatory disorders of the heart. Dysrhythmias, which will talk about the irregularities of your electrical conduction system of the heart. Next is on respiratory disorders, we have pneumonia, pneumothorax, and caring for a patient with CTT or chest thoracostomy tube, and of course, asthma. So we will cover definitions, key concepts or symptoms, complications, ECG patterns, especially in dysrhythmias, mnemonics, so that you will easily remember when you will encounter questions about these topics, management, and of course the nursing interventions or nursing actions. So the goal for you here is for you to understand not just the theory but also the clinical pearls that you will use later on as you practice nursing. So let's start with our first topic, which is pericarditis. So during our discussion with the anatomy of the heart, we were able to tackle the different layers of the heart. So we have the inner layer called your endocardium, middle, we have myocardium, and of course, the outer layer is called pericardium. Wherein yung pericardium natin has two layers. So we have parietal and visceral. Again, yung visceral pericardium natin is the one that is attached to the heart itself, or yung tinatawag din natin siyang epicardium. And we have also the outermost layer, which is the parietal pericardium. So in between the two, we have your pericardial space, which contains your pericardial fluid. So pag sinabi nating pericarditis, this is the inflammation of the pericardial sac, which is again the protective membrane of the heart. So the cause of pericarditis is often unknown, but it can be caused by viruses. And usually it starts as a respiratory infection, and then the virus will travel to the heart, causing pericarditis. So pericarditis is chronic or recurring, and it is a pericarditis that is chronic or recurring is usually a result of autoimmune disorders. Pag sinabi nating autoimmune disorders, this happens when the antibodies, our own antibodies, attacks our own cells, such as in the case of lupus erythematosus or SLE, scleroderma, and rheumatoid arthritis. So these are the autoimmune disorders that could result to pericarditis. Another cause is it can be due to trauma. Yan, such as in the case of acute myocardial infarction, it can be due to neoplasms or tumors, growths, and uremia and radiation. It can also be due to certain drugs such as procainamide, hydralazine, doxorubicin hydrochloride. And there are two serious complications of pericarditis, which are cardiac tamponade and chronic constrictive pericarditis. So later, madidiscuss natin yung cardiac tamponade. Okay? So what are the signs and symptoms of pericarditis? So you will see in your screen, we have their chest pain with deep inspiration, which is often relieved by sitting up. Cough, hemoptysis. Hemoptysis is blood-tinged sputum. Malaise, so the patient may have body weakness. Tachycardia, fever, pericardial friction rub, since the problem here is inflamed pericardium. Next is we have cyanosis or pallor, jugular vein distension, elevated WBC and ESR, and normal or decreased SGOT. So SGOT is a liver enzyme. So ayan. So pag dun sa may chest pain natin, this is described as a sharp stabbing chest pain that is worse when lying down, and it is again relieved by sitting up or when the patient is sitting forward or the patient is in an orthopnic position. And then, yung pericardial friction rub natin that can be heard upon auscultation. And of course, fatigue also. And nabanggit natin kanina that pericarditis, chronic pericarditis can lead to cardiac tamponade. So pag sinabi natin cardiac tamponade, this is a dangerous complication wherein the fluid in the pericardial space compresses the heart. Remember, the fluid in the pericardial space must be maintained dun sa normal lang na range ng normal amount lang. And in case of pericarditis, the fluid increases, thereby compressing the heart. So nagkakaroon tayo ng restriction dun sa may heart natin. So if the fluid increases, the heart is restricted. Basically, it cannot pump well. So maririnig natin, so pag meron tayong cardiac tamponade, meron tayong 3 manifestations that we will watch out. So tawag natin doon is Beck's triad. So pag sinabi natin Beck's triad, Beck's is spelled as B-E-C-K''S. So anong maririnig natin doon? There is muffled heart sounds. Muffled heart sounds. Next, hypotension and jugular vein distension. So, bakit merong muffled heart sounds? Kasi, hindi, yung because of the excess fluid, no? Dun sa may pericardial sac natin. Hypotension because of decreased cardiac output. And jugular vein distension because nagbaback up yung fluid dun sa may venous circulation natin. Again, as a result of compression ng heart natin. So, para mabilis yung matandaan yung yung signs and symptoms ng pericarditis, we will have the mnemonic friction. So, friction, F for fever, R for rub or plural friction rub, I for increased pain when lying, C for chest pain, T for troubled breathing or dyspnea, I, improved pain when leaning forward or lagay nyo dyan is orthopnic position. Next, onset is gradual. Onset is gradual meaning slow. Next, and letter N is not relieved by nitroglycerin. Unlike MI and angina, ang pericarditis, the chest pain in pericarditis is not relieved by nitroglycerin. Kasi, again, the problem is not on the blood vessels, but the lining of the heart itself. So, how do we diagnose? What are the diagnostic procedures done in patients with pericarditis? We have X-ray, which may show that there is increased heart size, or we call it cardiomegaly. And sa ating ECG tracing naman, meron tayong ST elevation and T-wave inversion. Again, ST elevation and T-wave inversion. So, for the management, we have to determine first, and once we determine the cause, we have to eliminate it. Drug therapy. So, sa mga medicines natin, we will be administering NSAIDs, colchicine, and corticosteroids if the cause is autoimmune. So again, what are the drugs that are usually given to patients with pericarditis? NSAIDs, colchicine, corticosteroids if autoimmune. And then, if the patient has cardiac tamponade, the doctor may do pericardiocentesis. Pericardiocentesis meaning removal or aspiration of excess fluid in the pericardial sac. Next, we have, to reduce also inflammation. The doctor may prescribe indomethacin. Next, and then if the cause is bacterial, definitely magbibigay po tayo ng antibiotic para ma-eliminate natin yung causative agent or microorganism that caused pericarditis. So, for our nursing interventions, you have to ensure comfort, bed rest with semi or high fallers position. Next, again, lumalala kasi ang chest pain ni patient once the patient lies down. So, if the patient is resting or if the patient will sleep, we advise the patient to be in a reclining position rather than just lying on his or her back. Next, monitor the hemodynamic parameters, especially the cardiac output. Next, administer medications as ordered and monitor for side effects. And then provide client teaching and discharge planning as to the position, no? Yan, na ano na natin to kanina na nabigay na natin to kanina, no? And then, in case magkaroon ng hemodynamic instability, we have to prepare for emergency drainage. Again, since the heart also cannot pump enough blood, and of course, that can lead to decreased oxygenation, magbibigay din po tayo ng supplemental oxygen. And you have to monitor also the vital signs and ECG changes. So that is all about your pericarditis. Next, we have, before we proceed with the next inflammatory disorder, review muna natin. Again, pericarditis is the inflammation of the pericardial sac, which is the protective membrane around the heart. And ang complication na binabantayan natin dito is cardiac tamponade, wherein nag-increase ang fluid dun sa may pericardial space natin, thus compressing the heart. Now, if the heart is compressed or restricted, it cannot pump blood dun sa systemic circulation natin. So, ano yung manifestation sa makikita natin pag si patient ay merong cardiac tamponade? So, meron tayong Beck's triad, wherein makikita natin or makakarinig tayo ng muffled heart sounds as a result of ineffective pumping ng heart, and yung yung increased fluid in the pericardial sac. We have, of course, hypotension due to decreased cardiac output, and jugular vein distension due to backing up of fluid or of blood in the venous circulation. And then, meron tayong mnemonic as to the manifestations or signs and symptoms. We have friction. F for fever. R, rub. Next, I for increased pain when lying. C for chest pain, which is described as sharp stabbing and is worse when the patient is lying down, and the pain is relieved once the patient sits up. Next, T for troubled breathing or dyspnea. I for improved pain when leaning forward or if the patient is in an orthopnic position. The onset is gradual. And lastly, and not relieved by nitroglycerin, unlike angina and myocardial infarction. Next, we have endocarditis. Okay, so when we say endocarditis, endocardium, this is the inner layer of the heart wherein it lines your valves, mga ganyan. So this is an infection of the heart's inner lining, and usually ang pinaka-affected dito ay yung valve. So pag may inflammation dun sa may endocardium, the platelet and the fibrin will tend to deposit on the valves, causing a deformity, insufficiency, or stenosis or narrowing of the valves. And it is often caused by virus or microorganisms such as virus, bacteria, mga ganun. So, pagdating sa bacterial infection, ang pinaka-common dyan is your Staphylococcus aureus, Staphylococcus viridans, and your GAB-HS, your Group A beta hemolytic Streptococcus aureus. And then, precipitating factors, mga comorbidities natin is RHD. Remember, ang RHD is caused by Group A beta hemolytic Streptococcus. And then, open heart surgery could be a risk factor. And then, of course, infection din ang tinitingnan natin dyan pagdating sa open heart injury. And then, GU or OB-GYN surgery and dental extraction. Now, kung titingnan natin, how will the microorganism enter the heart? So, usually, ang entry point natin dyan is the bloodstream. So, once it enters the virus or the bacteria rather enters the bloodstream, of course, it will travel to your heart kasi wala namang ibang pupuntahan yung blood natin kundi magsi-circulate sa heart natin. So, because of that, na i-infect yung ating valves. Okay? So, ano yung mga signs and symptoms? Especially, ito pala, pag ang nag-cause ng endocarditis natin is RHD. Ayan. Rheumatic heart disease. May comorbidity tayo. Isa yan sa mga complication ng RHD, no? Your endocarditis. Kung titingnan mo yung tawag dito, yung nagko-cause ng RHD, usually si GAB, HS. Group A, beta hemolytic. Pag tinignan mo beta hemolytic, ibig sabihin, pwede siyang mag-cause later on ng hemolysis or destruction of your blood. Kaya later, makikita natin na meron tayong petty K in patients with endocarditis. So, what are the assessment findings or the signs and symptoms? So, we have fever, malaise, fatigue, and joint pain, dyspnea and cough, acute upper quadrant pain, petty K, murmurs, edema, splenomegaly, hemiplegia, confusion, elevated ang ating mga ESR, erythrocyte sedimentation rate, WBC, decrease ang ating hemoglobin and hematocrit, we have hematuria, and pagdating sa diagnostic exams or diagnostic procedures, we have positive blood culture. Ayan. So, meron tayong at lagi niyong tatandaan pagdating sa endocarditis, meron tayong signs of embolization. So, meron tayong pwedeng magkaroon ng embolism. So, saan nyo nakikita? Paano natin makikita yung signs of embolization? Meron tayong Osler's nodes, mga ganyan. Makikita nyo dito, no? Sa may picture natin. Ito yung itsura ng pasyente na may endocarditis. So, meron tayong makikita nyo dyan. Ayan, Osler's nodes. Dun sa may kamay, dun sa may fingers. So, ang Osler's nodes are painful red or purple nodules on fingers and toes. And this is primarily due to immune complex deposition. Ayan. Again, pag si Osler's nodes, nakikita yan sa my fingers and toes. And these are painful red or purple nodules. And it is caused by immune complex deposition. And then we also have Janeway's lesions. Janeway's lesion. That's Janeway lesions. These are painless naman. As compared to Osler's and Janeway, si Janeway is painless, flat, and red spots on the palms and soles naman due to septic emboli. Okay? So, para hindi nyo mapapagbaliktad yung dalawa, pag si Osler, tatandaan nyo lang O for ouch. Kasi these are painful nodules that are seen on saan? Sa fingers and toes. Sa Janeway naman, Jane for joy, kasi it's painless. Yan, painless lesions. Nasaan naman to? Sa may palms and soles po natin. Other signs would be rot spots. Ayan, makikita nyo dito. Ayan, rot spots. So, sa rot spots naman, nakikita yan sa may mata. Ang rot spots are retinal hemorrhages. And meron din tayong splinter hemorrhage under the nail. So, makikita natin na may mga red dito sa may, under the nails. Okay, so nasabi ko kanina sa inyo na meron tayong petty K. Ayan, so ganyan ang itsura, petechial rash in patients with endocarditis, especially if it's infective endocarditis. So, pag sinabi nating petty K, these are tiny red or purple spots on the skin or inside the mouth and eyes. And they don't fade when you press on them. Unlike sa ibang rashes, no, that when you press, nagkakaroon ng blanching. Pag petty K, hindi nagkakaroon ng blanch. So, they do not fade or they do not change in color when you press it. So, why do they happen? There are 3 simple reasons why nagkakaroon po tayo ng petty K in patients with infective endocarditis. First is because of small clots, no? Because of small clots. Yung small clots natin, they break off from the infected heart valve and they get stuck in tiny blood vessels. So, nagkaroon ng embolus nagkaroon ng blood clots dun sa may valves natin, and dislodge or na-detach from the valves, at magta-travel siya dun sa systemic circulation natin until matrap siya dun sa mga maliliit na mga blood vessels natin, often your capillaries, and this embolus can cause or damage the blood vessel that will later on result to bleeding spots. That's one reason. So, small clots, embolus, ang isa sa mga isa sa mga cause natin. So, makikita mo dyan, ayan, systemic emboli. Next is immune reaction. So, sa immune reaction naman, this is our body's response against infection. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng immune complexes na tinatawag, and they settle in the blood vessels, making them weak and leaky. So, again, destruction na naman po ng nagkakaroon ng destruction of your blood vessels because of immune reaction. And then, another reason is direct damage. So, the bacteria and their toxins can directly injure the blood vessels lining, causing tiny ruptures. That's why we see petechiae on the skin, inside the mouth, on the palate, or in the eyes. As mentioned kanina, dun sa may rot spots natin, ayan. So, that is caused by those three things na nabanggit natin. So, in short, tatandaan po natin, si petechiae in endocarditis come from the blocked tiny vessels, immune damage, and direct injury to blood vessels. So, para hindi natin makalimutan, meron tayong mnemonic na, dito naman sa endocarditis, meron tayong mnemonic na from Jane. F-O-R-M space Jane. So, F for fever. Of course, meron fever yan because of the inflammation, inflammatory response. R for rot spots. Again, saan makikita si rot spots? Nasa may retina, sa mata. Retinal damages, retinal hemorrhages, and meron tayong splinter hemorrhage sa may under the nails natin. Next, Osler's nodes. O for Osler's nodes, saan na nakikita? Sa my toes and fingers, and these are painful nodules. Next, M for murmurs. Murmurs. Again, pag hindi po nagkaroon pag na-infect po yung ating valves, ano ba ang nangyayari dun sa may paano ba nakakapag-function pa ba sila ng maayos? Hindi na. So, minsan nagkakaroon tayo ng incomplete closure, or meron tayong stenosis or narrowing of your narrowing of your valve. So, pag narrowed yan or may stenosis yan, pwedeng magkaroon, hindi flow ng maayos yung blood natin. So, nagka-create siya ng mga abnormal sounds. So, normally, ang maririnig natin sa heart is love-dub lang, S1 and S2. So, dito, makakarinig tayo ng S3 or gallop. Next, J for Janeway lesions. Janeway, joy, not painful. Next, A for anemia. So, makikita natin to dun sa may, dun sa may diagnostic natin kanina na decrease ang ating hemoglobin. Decrease ang hemoglobin and hematocrit. So, it follows na pag si patient ay may anemia, meron ding fatigue, mga ganon. So, yung mga associated na signs and symptoms ng anemia, ilalagay na din natin dito. And then, nail hemorrhage, and then letter E, N for nail hemorrhage, and letter E for emboli. So, sa management po natin, medical management, it involves drug therapy, cardiac surgery to replace valve, or tinatawag natin na valvular replacement. Sa surgery natin, long-term antibiotic ang kailangan natin dyan, especially pag ang cause ay bacteria, of course. Ayan, so, bago natin ma-identify, bago tayo magbigay ng antibiotic, of course, si patient ay mag-undergo muna ng blood culture and sensitivity for us to determine which appropriate antibiotic is suited for the patient. So, usually, it requires long-term antibiotic management. Next, Pen-G and streptomycin if organism is not known, and you have to administer antipyretics, especially if the patient is having fever. And then, if the valve of the patient is really damaged na, or there is massive damage already, magva-valve replacement po tayo dyan. Valve surgery if severe. And then, nursing interventions include antibiotics, administer antibiotics. You have to check the temperature daily temperature checking tayo. Next, you have to monitor for embolic events. Embolic events, ayan, vascular complications and pulmonary embolism. So, sa pulmonary embolism, alam niyo na yan kung ano ang mga manifestations in case si patient ay may pulmonary embolism. So, meron tayong shortness of breath, meron tayong dyspnea, ayan. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng changes sa respiratory rate ni patient. And then, sa may, naman tayo, sa may vascular complications, no? Titingnan natin kung meron tayong decrease in LOC, level of consciousness. Kasi yung emboli natin, it can travel papunta sa may brain, which can, of course, cause changes in your LOC. And then, limb pain. Yan, limb pain. Pwedeng magkaroon ng tawag dito, embolus dun sa may lower, especially sa lower extremities natin. And then, meticulous oral hygiene and education on completing the therapy. So, ayan. You have to instruct also the patient to report the following signs and symptoms pag persistent pa siya. So, we have fever, fatigue, chills, anorexia, and joint pains. And of course, kailangan ay i-avoid po natin yung mga individuals with known infections. Next is myocarditis. So, sa myocarditis, this is an acute or chronic inflammation of the myocardium as a result of pericarditis, systemic infection, or allergic response. Para hindi nyo makalimutan later on kung ano yung mga differences at hindi nyo mapagbali-baliktad kung ano yung mga, kung ano yung nagiging problema pag may inflammation dun sa mga layers, you have to go back kung ano nga ba yung mga functions ng each layer of the heart. So, pag sa endocardium, yung sa valve ang may problema, sa myocardium, since that is the muscular layer of the heart, may problema tayo sa pumping ng ating pag-pump or pag-contract ng ating heart. So, ano yung mga signs and symptoms or manifestations? We have fever, pericardial friction rub, gallop rhythm, murmur, signs of heart failure, fatigue, dyspnea, tachycardia, chest pain. Ano pa? Palpitations and, ayan, sa signs of heart failure, titingnan natin dyan kung merong dyspnea and edema. So, dyspnea, probably because of left-sided heart failure and edema because of right-sided heart failure. Remember, nung discussion natin sa heart failure, pag ang manifestations ay systemic, ito ay maybe ang problema natin dyan, ang problema natin is right-sided heart failure, and pag pulmonary naman in nature, it's left-sided heart failure. So, tatandaan natin, remember, pagdating sa myocarditis, myo means muscle, and if there is weak heart muscle, there is also weak pump or weak contraction. Ayan. So, anong management natin dyan? You have to assist the client to assume a position of comfort, administer analgesics, salicylates and NSAIDs. Para saan yan? Anti-inflam. Administer oxygen, provide adequate rest periods. Kasi, tatandaan po natin, yung myocardium ay hindi na nga nakakapag-pump, so i-decrease po natin ang oxygen demand ng katawan natin para hindi na po mag-increase ang cardiac workload. Next, limit activities. Ayan, to decrease workload, treat the underlying cause, administer medicines as ordered. Pag bacterial ang cause ng myocarditis natin, of course, antibiotics are prescribed. Diuretics, ayan, sa diuretics po ay para hindi to treat edema. Ayan, to manage yung excess fluid or yung fluid retention. Next, ACE inhibitors. And then, digitalis. Para sa ano naman natin yan? In case merong nagkaroon ng heart failure. Next, also, pakidagdag po sa medications natin. Dadagdag po natin dyan ang beta blockers. Next is oxygen therapy. Nabanggit na natin kanina. And monitor ECG for arrhythmias. So, tatandaan natin, teach patients to avoid strenuous activity during recovery.